Scotch ale. It just looks very cheap. It says £5 on the back of it as well.
No, it's a relative. I mean, it'll be Kalila, is what it will be, but it's Ian McLeod. We'll try and push it for a few years. I hit record like 40 seconds ago, incidentally, so cool. I should introduce this, shouldn't I? Because I'm doing this. Good afternoon, good evening, hello. This is a man. He drinks beers on the internet. They'll have like links and stuff below. You're in Edinburgh.
I'm in Edinburgh. Yeah.
You are in Edinburgh, yes. This is a thing that is happening. What keeps happening is like people keep like coming to Edinburgh and being like, John, show me around Edinburgh, and I keep bringing them here. So we've had the obligatory pie already, which is what happened last time when Jim was here. And then he was like, yeah, I don't really like cask beers, and I was like, well, we just walked 40 minutes the wrong direction. And it was like, it's fine, we'll talk about whiskies. So then we just had a lot of whiskey. So you were like, hey, talk to me about whiskey. So we're going to do some whiskey today, basically. Should we like quickly fill people in, like, because like, we're not tired, we're drunk. It's been a day so far. So you've been out and about since like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And last night you were out until like 5 in the morning or something ludicrous.
Quite reasonably late.
Yeah. Because like I got off a train at like 11:30 and you were still going. And I was like, oh, you're still going. Cool. And then you were at a brewery today.
Yeah.
And then you had a bit of an explore, and then you met me at Cloisters, and then we had some cream soda beer.
Yeah.
Which was fascinating. What do you think of that, actually, the cream soda beer?
It wasn't the beer to have after a long walk. It was
surprisingly heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's heavy. First couple of sips, you're like, holy shit, that's cream soda, and the rest of the way down, you're like, oh,
it's cream soda.
oh god, this is half a pint of cream soda. Okay. Yeah, I've not had that much cream soda since I was like last week. But
I've had it a fair bit. I do enjoy cream soda.
I do like cream soda as well. It gets a bit of flack, you know. It's not. I mean, it's not a brew, you know. It's not gonna be topping the national lists anytime soon. But it's, you know, it's vanilla soda. What's not to like?
Yeah, it's lovely.
And then we ended up in the vaults with the wee vault, little Vault City vault. And we had a lot of sours.
Yeah.
And I can't remember all the ones that we had, because we had a fair few, because you can get them in like thirds.
Yeah.
I definitely had the Mummy Fucker, or whatever it's called. It's like the Imperial Stout that was like 1,000,000%.
Oh, yeah, the Swedish.
It's got a Swedish name that doesn't look anything like the word.
Like Carl's mum or something like that.
Yeah, Carl's mum, that was it. The word looks like Carl's mum, but it's pronounced like or something like that. You had a blueberry sour. I had the raspberry chocolate cheesecake diabetic disaster beer.
Yeah.
And there was something in the middle.
Banana jolly.
That was it.
That's the
banana split. Yes. That him. So yeah, there was some beers, and we got talking to humans, and there was an old lady who came in who was shopping for her nephew, and she was so lost. God bless her. She walked in and she didn't know where she was. God bless her. And she was treated very well. She tried like samples of the beer, and now she's a rock star. So you know, it's been a fast turnaround. What's your adventure in Edinburgh been like so far?
It's been a blast. I really enjoyed it. Yesterday was good fun. Particular favourite bar was Monty's for sure. That was hanging back was always on my list of doing, and that was very enjoyable. Bizarre neighbours, they do 2/3. I've noticed that you can't get a pint in there, you can only get 2/3. 2/3 or a third, but we're having thirds. So nice to have a couple of thirds of things, and then Monty's was particularly good. Bow Bar, I forget some of the other names of places I was there.
See, I quite like the Bow Bar. You didn't have the best experience.
No,
it's fair enough. Yeah. Tourists can be annoying in there sometimes, so it's pick a day basically.
I think more than anything, it was particularly busy, and it was just hard to kind of get served or anything like that. There was another place Adam told me to go to on the magical list of Mersey beers, and it was just rammed in there. and I ordered a half, got a pint, paid for it. And it was a New Barnes pale of some form, and I didn't know what pale it was, but I've kind of researched back and just flicking it up. It was just some variant of their own pale. It was literally just have that and then walk out. But yeah, definitely,
Nice.
definitely the most enjoyable experience sitting at the bar, which is one of my tics that I have. I just love sitting at the bar. Has to be Monty's for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. We're also down here with like the Nook. We can like join them on the bar and like have a look and like pester them if you want, because. And there's one more to tick off as well. You want to visit K's.
K's, yes.
Yes. So that's fine. It's not on the opposite end of the city. We'll be absolutely fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'm on the close tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I can show up waste. I can probably show up drunk and be like, well, you'll do. So it's fine. Don't worry about it. So we've got some beers. I'm on a Murphy's because it's like Guinness if they gave a fuck. And you're on a Shelley, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you asked for.
No, I did ask for 80 shilling. I just don't know what brewery it is, but I said 80 shilling.
It'll be Stewart's if it's the Diggers 80 shilling. They just rebadge it. So the last time I was here with Jim, we tried this on British Shore, which is very handily placed. We had this stuff, Ardbeg Groove. We're not having an Ardbeg today. I was going to get us the Ardbeg Hardcore because views, basically, it's a limited edition. People have been like, once that thumbnail goes up, they've been like, I need to have a quick wank now and then I'll watch the video. I see you, Ralphie. But as it is, we went with something completely different because I asked beforehand, as a good host, I was like, how do you feel about like Smoke and Pete? And the answer was, not great. Not great. Yeah. So we went with an Edinburgh Hour. A few of you were like, you did what now? And we'll see what happens. So,
thank you.
This isn't an Edinburgh 10, it's not the core range and it's not the Signature because they don't have it. This is the Edinburgh 12 Caledonian. And there'll be more details down in the details box because I have had a lot to drink today and not a lot to eat. I've had a pie and a crumpet, and that's been me today. I've had more alcohol than I have food. So
it's the life of a brother.
Yeah, it's the life of a barman as well. So we're gonna like go through has anyone ever done like a tasting with you before? Because I mean.
Not a whiskey, no.
Awesome, cool, we'll do that. I'm going to quickly double check this motherfucker is still recording because it has a nasty habit of like switching itself off and not telling me. Oh my god, it's still recording.
Amazing.
Wow.
Just get.
Oh yeah, also we had a Krabby's tasting quite recently. There's a new recipe for Krabby's. It's still terrible. So if anyone was wondering if it's worth the money, no. So yeah, let's not worry about that. And Krabs probably be like, oh, why are you saying that? It's like, you know yourself. Cool, so, Edinburgh Caledonian, heavy sherried whiskey. Now, you were saying again about glassware as well. You don't have much in the realms of glassware back home.
I've got loads of beer glasses, like ridiculous amounts of beer
Good
glasses.
man.
But no whiskey glasses.
Cool. There is a heady range of different whiskey glasses, but this has kind of become the ubiquitous one because it just works.
Yeah.
It's a good nosing glass, it's a good kind of swirling glass. If you went to the Scotch Malt Whiskey Experience, they'd be like, oh, give it a swirl and then like have a look, and then you can tell the viscosity of the liquid based on how much it runs down.
Yeah.
And then you ask, what does that tell you? And they go, tells you how thick it is. And you go, and what does that tell me? And they go, it's thick. And that's it. That's all the information. It's broadly. I don't look into that too much because it's one of those things that looks really good where you're like analysing. You're like, oh yes, it didn't actually mean much.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people that disagree with me on that one.
Yeah.
I don't care. The ABV can sometimes be a teller. Not always, but it can be sometimes. You get some oily 40%ers, you get some thin 46%ers, but as a general rule. The more ABV, as you will know as well with free brewing, is the more ABV, the thicker it tends to be because you've not watered it down as much.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
This is, I think it's like 50 odd for the Caledonia. I didn't bother doing any research. I'm going in quite blind with this one because we're in a pub. We're here to have a bit of fun and a bit of an enjoyment. This is not an informative piece. This is more kind of like I am subjecting somebody. Well, not even subjection. That's what we say. Yeah. You were kind of like, let's do this. Let's see if we can get 2 episodes out of this. Fuck it, why not? We've got a fucking massive jug of water here. We're not going to eat all of it. I mean, I might have a swig later, but we'll get to that. But the first step, shove it up to your nose and breathe through your mouth.
Yeah, that's a way to inhale.
Yep, that is one way to get some fumes into your lungs. There's some people that go against this kind of technique, and some people that advocate it. So the general rule is it's kind of subjective. Turns out, for years I thought this was the way to do it, and then people started saying to me like, no, you don't do it like that. You do it this other way. It's like, okay, there's no rules in this. Cool, got ya. Sweet. For my side of things, when I've been like cheering people, it's like breathe through your mouth because taste and smell are quite closely linked, and it helps basically kind of prepare you for the onslaught that is to come of 96% whiskey, or whatever this is. So we've done the collar, we've done the legs, we've done inhaling it through. So the next thing is, have you ever had mouthwash?
Yeah.
Cool. Have a swig a bit like mouthwash.
Okay.
Treat it with zero reverence and just like have a swig around. Okay. So I don't know why I gargled, that was a terrible idea. Yeah. So one wonderful thing that this does is it shocks your senses and you're kind of like, right, we're going to be having booze right now. And your senses are kind of like, okay.
Yeah. Normally you wouldn't swill it around it, and that just goes...
It opens your pores, your arsehole, everything. Everything is now open. So then you give it a minute, and then you come back to it. So in the meantime, you can I don't know, talk about what's your life been like?
Wonderful.
Excellent, cool. Glad we covered that. Good, grand. You're off to Newcastle tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah. Go to Newcastle, and we're doing lots of breweries. Lots of breweries. I think we're going to do, apart from Wylam, that's the one place which we're avoiding because of the Hoppings Festival being on and it being very busy. So we're avoiding them. We're just going, again, being shown around by someone. So
I have to avoid that brewery forevermore because one time I visited Newcastle, I had just gotten back from hooking up with somebody and I had like a spare condom in my pocket and I sat down in the tap room to drink a beer and the condom fell out of my pocket as I was like taking the beer to my table. I didn't notice. One of the waiters picked it up and went, "The fuck is this?" And I was like, and then you could kind of see, I was like, "What dirty bastard put that?" So I just like quickly necked my beer and fucked off, and I can't ever be seen there ever again. So
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to swim anyway.
Yeah. So then I phoned up the clinic. I was like, "Can I get on prep?" That was really embarrassing. So each their own. Right, cool. Enough time's elapsed, and I've told an embarrassing story. You're welcome. So this time we're not going to treat it like mouthwash. We're going to treat it like you kind of like take a sip and have a go with it and see what we find, kind of a thing. Because now your body's kind of like we're
climatised.
Yes, yeah, that's the word we're looking for there. Yeah, cool. Right.
Cheers. Yeah, it's not.
It's gentler.
It's much better. I prefer it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Good, excellent.
I like it.
Cool. Yeah. So your initial reaction was like fucking hell. And your second reaction is that's quite nice actually. Yeah.
Well, so I was a little bit worried because obviously when you said about PT, and that's always been the one taste I know I don't like is like peatiness and smoking, and that's what I typically kind of associated with not knowing about Scottish whiskey or Scotch or whatever. That's typically kind of being what I thought it's always going to be like. So,
I mean, working in like sort of not the retail side, but like working in a pub that deals with whiskey a lot, you do get that quite a bit with like people where they're kind of like, oh, I want a whiskey, but I don't like peat. Is there anything that doesn't have peat? And you're like, yeah, like about 95% of it. Like we're pretty well catered for these days. Time was peat was a lot more prevalent in whiskey than it is now because it was a primary fuel source. It's not anymore, although given how prices are going, who knows? But might go back that way. Who knows? I mean, there was a time you could run your car on fucking yogurt if you wanted to. Like there was. I'm exaggerating a little bit with that, but there was a time where you could run your car off of like biofuels and stuff like there was a universal engine that got patented and it just got killed. Well, according to King Ralphie anyway, it was like time was, you could run your car from pretty much anything. There are cars out there that run off of ship fat. They stink.
Yeah.
But they do it.
One of my colleagues he was a brewer and made biodiesel as well.
Yeah.
And used to run around in like a little chip fat car.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, stinking out the rural lifestyle. To be fair, if you live in the countryside, it already stinks of shit anyway, so who's going to notice?
That's what I tend to sometimes think.
Yeah.
Because I just work in the countryside.
Yeah, it's like I had a wedding in Peebles a couple of weeks ago. Best wedding I've ever been to. Fucking adorable. But we were like getting the bus through into the countryside. This has nothing to do with whiskey, by the way, so there'll be chat points. This is just chat now. And we were passing this beautiful cottage. Weren't staying there, we were just passing it on the bus. It was like gorgeous, ornate, lovely garden, flowers everywhere. And like, it's beautiful. And there's just this wall of horse shit assaulted us. And we were like, imagine like stepping out and being like, oh, this is a beautiful cottage, and just smelling like arseholes, It's like, what a beautiful, oh god.
It is, I mean, it's obviously where I'm based, we've got a brewery and distillery. The brewery is plenty of smells, especially the mashing process, and when you're digging the mash tun out and everything, that when they leave that in the trailer from the first lot and then they've got a little bit left over for the second lot, you can smell it. It smells pretty awful.
I mean, Edinburgh folk are accustomed, although they won't be for much longer, to the smell of breweries, because we've got the Caledonian Brewery, but that's getting shut down by the cunts at Heineken.
Yeah, and they're shifting all their brewing to
Belhaven.
Yeah.
And if Heineken are watching this, and I'm going to assume if you call them cunts, you're cunts. Cunts. So let's go back to the whiskey, and it's like this is the point where we start picking out flavour notes and being like, oh, it reminds me of this, that, and the next thing. So I'll let you take the lead on this because it'll be funny.
I can be your dancing monkey.
That is the entirety of this video. I did nearly get monkey shoulder for that reason.
So initially it's kind of like, I notice it to be very kind of oaky, nutty, a little bit like vanilla notes as well, quite sweet. There's a little bit of a marmalade, orange marmalade kind of note as well. Okay, yeah, I'm getting that.
So
very light citrus, ever so slightly floral, and then don't know what to describe it as.
It's one of the great things about getting a brewer on board is like they do actually have pretty developed palates because it's part of the gig ultimately. It's not just cleaning shit, although a lot of the job is cleaning.
It's not
a lot of the job is cleaning. But yeah, I mean it's a heavily sherry one, so like you're looking at like nuts, chocolate. Edgedown does have a little bit of peat in it, but it's so it's so much of a background note to it. It's not kind of like a Lafroig or something where it's kind of like hi, bam. Which is always a good sign. But yeah, this is more kind of like a sweeter kind of like I tend to describe like sherry whiskies with like the purple Yorkie. So it's like chocolate, raisin, and biscuit all kind of wrapped into one. And it's also sexist for no clear reason. So
no, I like it. I do like it. I mean, typically I would go for a sweeter one. I think that's just the way I'd always be to start off with, and sort of
I mean, I kind of threw you in the deep end. To be fair, I was going to throw you in with like an Ardbeg or something. So I mean, I did reel it back a little bit.
I've done enough research to know that is something that I wouldn't enjoy to start with. That would be
fair enough. Well, I tell you what, we can add a bit of water to this, do some closing thoughts, and then I can let you pick one if you want, and I'll.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I think that'll be funny, and that's the point of this video.
Yeah.
This is amusing me.
Good.
So yeah, we've got a private nook. We can do whatever we want. Exactly. I mean, we can't actually do whatever we want. But, murdering prostitutes is off the menu for starters. But
peach.
I'm going to stick some water in this and see if anything happens to it. But the marmalade shout is a good.
So the water just kind of.
It opens it up a wee bit, yeah. So most master blenders, which is a pretty wanky title for what is ultimately a tea blender working with whiskey, don't disagree with me, but they would. They will add a lot of water because they want to see kind of like what the dilution does to the whiskey and how the whiskey stands up to it. So they'll knock it back quite heavily. Now in pubs, you'll tend to get a lot of folks where they're kind of like, oh, I'm not adding water to my whiskey because I'm admitting I'm shit in bed or whatever. Like it is like they've got some kind of weird psychology where they're like, oh, you don't put water in your whiskey because that means my dick dropped off.
Yeah.
And it's like some kind of like weird masculinity linkage crap. And occasionally you get the ones where you're like, I'll have some water. It's like, you're a good shag. I see you. It's the same thing with like, you see like guys driving sport cars down the road at like 90 miles an hour and the engine's going, and you're just like, that's such a shame. I feel sorry for her or him.
What's that? It's like, well done, you're pressing the pedal with your foot.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well done. At least you can get something to roar. Yeah.
Just wasting money as well. Wasting your fuel.
Yes, what I'm thinking about when I see that is the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not thinking, oh bless you, those springs haven't had a good workout since you bought that mattress, have they? Oh, okay.
It's way softer. Way softer.
Yeah. You get it occasionally where a whiskey collapses with water, and I think this is one of them.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah, it's a lot of like what was working for it has kind of disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, I'm getting considerably less of those kind of like marmalade kind of orangey notes I was getting before. They've just dissipated completely.
So adding water sometimes it's a blessing and a curse. And in this case, it's been close to a curse than it has a blessing. You will get sometimes whiskies that are quite uptight and they don't give you everything that it's got to give, and you'll add some water and it'll go, oh, by the way, all this is happening. And then you'll have others where you add some water and it just goes like a souffle, it just goes and it's done. And this is the souffle, unfortunately. It's just it's just diluted it. It's not added anything. So that's a shame. I've ruined these.
I wouldn't say it's quite become White and Mackay light.
No, it's not. I mean, it's still good whiskey at the end of the day that's been watered down, whereas there is a shite whiskey that's been watered down.
And awful as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Yeah, it's whenever I go into a pub, it's like, oh, so you've got shite Mackay, and they go, what? I was like, it's over there. It's like, what did you call it? It's like, I call it shite Mackay. Like, why do you call it that? It's like, because it's shite.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not rocket science, this one. It's bad whiskey. And what I say, whenever I say the kind of thing, it's like, all the companies behind it, it's like, you've got arse-opening amounts of money, and I'm a twat in an ill-fitting jumper. You're fine. If I am going to bring down your empire, you were not very secure to begin with. I just like having a rant. It's just fun, There is still,
There's a pepperiness is what I get in the back.
It's still a little bit spicy. There's still a little bit of a nutty, chocolatey kind of thing. But it's kind of like if you drank a glass of water after you've had like a dairy milk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's combinations that never do.
Yeah, it's that kind of like
yeah.
combination that you're like, I shouldn't have done that. That was not the best thing. That was not optimum for me to do.
But we know now.
Yeah, now we know. Now we know. Edinburgh 12 Caledonia. Don't put water in it because nothing particularly good happens. Sadly, and that's a shame. This is research that we have done for you. So what we'll do is we'll box this off, and then you can go and like pick something, and we'll do like a part 2. How does that sound?
Yeah.
We'll do like I'm just gonna extract content from you, like like an evil person. So we'll do a part 2 to this. So thank you and bye.